SimPure reverse osmosis countertop water filtration system. Let's talk about it. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons. There's only, I think, one con that I want to talk to you about that's, worth knowing. I was worried when I got this that it would be very loud to use, it would be heavy and cumbersome, and it would make the whole process that much harder, and just having a bottle of water would be better, but it's not. On the front of the machine, you obviously have touch displays. They're not buttons, they are a digital display, and they will dim down after about 5 minutes of no use. There's the display, by the way. It's now dimmed down. It looks like it's almost off. The machine's pulling water from the back holding tank all the way into the main filtered tank, which is a ½ gallon right now, and it doesn't make any sound. I mean, it makes some sound, but it's a very low hum, so it's very quiet. I was worried it would be a loud unit. I was worried it was going to make a lot of sound and wake people up in the RV and be a nuisance, but it's not. There is no off button on this machine. It's constantly filtering, constantly purifying your water, so if you want to shut it off, you have to unplug it from the wall. Not a big deal whatsoever, but what's nice about this, because it's constantly running and taking very little wattage while it's in standby mode for the most part, every 20 minutes or so, it'll UV filter the water that's inside the ½ gallon tank. That way, if you have water sitting there for, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, it's still staying very pure, and you don't have to worry about it getting all gunky. The whole system will filter itself, it will flush itself, it'll do what it needs to do to stay clean. Love the fact that the display, when you touch it, you can dispense water and walk away. Leave your cup on the rack and you get 15 ounces of water poured like that. It's just so nice to be able to hit a button and have water come out and filter into your mug, and you know it's gonna stop at 12 ounces or 15 ounces or whatever one you wanna select. You don't have to keep an eye on it. This is about 1.5 gallons, the reserve tank, which pulls water to get filtered. But once it's filtered and put through the reverse osmosis process, there's about a ½ gallon tank in here that has all that water. So even though you may be out of water back here, you still may have a ½ gallon in the machine, which is good to know. But when you hit flushing, it'll dump that entire ½ gallon holding tank. So make sure you have the reservoir that you want in front of it to catch all that water. But if you want to stop it at any point, you can just hit that flushing button again and it stops. Just like if you hit the ounces of dispensing again, it'll stop the water as well. It won't continue to drop water. You just hit that button again and it stops at whatever level you're at. Now, changing the filters is very, very simple. I'm gonna show you that right now. So the system is so easy to manage. If you need to change the filters out or if you need to swap water, it's very simple. You pull up on this little tab here, it opens up the top, and now you can grab your holding tank of water and remove that by just wiggling it out a little bit, just shift left and right, and it'll pop right out. And there's membranes in here that don't allow the water to pour out. It stops automatically. So this is already full. Water will come out just like that. You'll hear some beeping, and that's okay. I'm just letting you know that the water tank has been removed, but you have your filters right here. If you need to change these, you simply pull on this little foam pad down here. These things will rock out like this, and you will turn them counterclockwise, or it starts clockwise, one or the other, and it just a quarter turn and they pop off. Put the new one in, reverse the twist, and then push it back in and you're good to go. And you only have to do that roughly every 500 gallons, and it costs roughly $35 to $50 to replace both of these. So it's not that expensive for a lot of water. And obviously they're gonna be very, very cautious with how often you have to replace these, and the display will tell you on the front when you have to replace them. Your composite filter over here, and you have your reverse osmosis filter right here, and you can buy them separately. So if you have to replace one and not the other, you can do that. You don't have to buy them as a kit. And it's very, very simple to run this whole system. I'm absolutely in love with it. Let me put the water tank back on, and we're gonna talk about quality now of the water that it's putting out. All right, so the main important thing to talk about this machine is how good is the quality of water coming out of this system. Obviously, people can rave and say all the things they want, but you want to truly test it. So I do have a TDS meter, parts per million in your water. That's how they regulate it. It's usually ppm you'll see on it, or TDS is total dissolved solids. Your number itself, if you're in that 100 to 150 total dissolved solid range, you're in good quality drinking water, but not great. And when you're in that 150 to 250 range, I think it's medium. And then if you're above 500, you're in poor quality water. My tap water here, this is still good tap water, but you'll see the difference. It's in there, 176. So I just poured some water out of the SimPure machine. This is the TDS meter, put it into the water. So you're getting very clean water out of this machine. So this machine is cranking out almost identical to a very expensive 8-foot tall reverse osmosis machine at Whole Foods. Price point is insane for these things. So if you want reverse osmosis, go check it out. SimPure reverse osmosis countertop machine. Here is my only con about the system so far, and this con is so minuscule, I don't even know what to say. I shouldn't even call it a con, because if most people have this on a full-on counter, you won't have to worry about it. But this drip tray is not attached by a connection. It's magnetic, which is pretty rad. It'll hold where you need it to be, but if you have it to where the machine, I don't want to do it because it'll fall off and I don't want to damage a good looking drip tray. If you turn the machine and you had it, say, off the edge of a counter and you don't have enough counter space to hold the whole length of it, it won't stay on there. It'll just fall off. That just like that, which I didn't want to have happen, but it did. Not a big deal, because at the end of the day, most people have a countertop that can handle the space. When we first get this machine in, you have to do a purifying session through the machine. Obviously the filters are brand new, the machine's brand new, there's internal components, and you want to make sure your water tastes the best. If you don't do this, the water may taste kind of funky for the first 4 or 5 gallons before it starts tasting good. So make sure to do the filtering process. It's very simple. It takes roughly about a half hour to an hour depending on how much you're on it. I was doing it passively and it took me a little bit longer than that, but it's not difficult. You simply fill the tank up. The machine will start purifying and pushing into the holding tank. And then when the holding tank has been purified, which takes about roughly 5 to 10 minutes, you hit the flushing cycle and let that whole half gallon drain, and you keep doing that until the tank is empty. Now, when the tank's empty, you take it out and refill that, and you want to do that process 3 to 5 times. So it may take you anywhere from a half hour to an hour to do, but it's worth it because the water quality comes out like a chef's kiss deliciousness. It's amazing. This thing's fantastic. It's quiet, it's lightweight, it filters water fast, it gives you many options, and changing the filters and maintaining is very easy.